Welcome to Trending Now USA, and I am Bella, bringing you developing coverage of a story that has set the tennis world ablaze. The rivalry between rising American superstar Coco Gauff and her fiercest challengers has taken a dramatic new turn, and tonight's spotlight falls on a moment that fans are already calling one of the most electrifying responses ever delivered by Gauff on or off the court. For days, social media, commentators and analysts have been buzzing about tensions building between Coco Gauff and several of her top competitors, but nothing captured global attention quite like her response during a post-match media session earlier today. It was powerful, composed, unexpected, and absolutely unforgettable. In a season already filled with storylines, upsets, unforgettable performances, and clashes between tennis elites, this exchange may become the flashpoint that defines the rest of the year. From the very beginning of the 2025 tennis season, Coco Gauff has been under an intense spotlight. The expectations placed on her have grown exponentially after her major breakthrough, and every match she plays now attracts worldwide scrutiny. Despite her young age, she has handled pressure with the poise of a seasoned veteran. But in recent weeks, the energy around her rivalry with several of the tour's biggest names, especially those who see her as the face of the sport's next generation, has escalated beyond anything we've seen before. As Gauff continues to climb higher, competitors are pushing back harder, determined to test the strength of her confidence, her endurance, and her mental toughness. What unfolded today was the culmination of weeks of tension, bold comments, subtle jabs, public speculation, and a buildup of competitive fire from players who want nothing more than to challenge the American champion at her peak. The moment that ignited this latest chapter began shortly after Gauff's intense match, one that showcased her resilience, athleticism, and ability to rise when it matters most. As she stepped into the interview room, reporters sensed that she carried with her not only the weight of victory, but the energy of a competitor tired of the constant doubts and criticisms that seemed to accompany her success. The question that ultimately triggered her now viral response came from a reporter who referenced remarks made earlier in the week by a top rival. The rival had suggested that Gauff was not yet ready to dominate the sport consistently and hinted that her recent wins were more about luck and timing than long-term ability. It was a statement that struck a nerve among Gauff's supporters, many of whom felt it downplayed her accomplishments and underestimated her relentless work ethic. For a moment, the room fell silent as the question echoed. Reporters waited. Cameras zoomed in. Fans watching live streams at home leaned closer to their screens. And Coco Gauff, always thoughtful, always measured, took a slow breath, lifted her eyes, and delivered a response so dignified, so confident, and so unexpectedly direct that it stunned everyone present. She didn't raise her voice. She didn't attack. She didn't fall into the trap of trading insults. Instead, she spoke with clarity and precision, outlining her belief in her own growth, her commitment to excellence, and her refusal to allow anyone, whether a rival player, a commentator, or a critic, to dictate her narrative. It was the kind of moment that separates champions from contenders, and within seconds, social media exploded with reactions. What made her statement especially powerful was not just the message, but the timing. The tennis world has been swirling with speculation about shifting power dynamics among the top players. With each tournament, the question grows louder. Who truly stands at the top right now? The answer changes week to week, match to match, rally to rally. Gauff's consistency in big moments has positioned her as one of the sport's most reliable competitors, while her rivals are pushing themselves harder, each determined to prove they belong at the summit. The tension is palpable, and fans are more invested than ever in watching how these battles unfold on and off the court. In her statement, Gauff acknowledged the competitive spirit of her rivals, but made it clear that she refuses to be undermined. She emphasized that hard work, not luck, carried her to the top. Hours of training, mental discipline, and a passion for the game that has driven her since childhood. She reminded viewers that every match she plays, every step she takes, is part of a larger journey, one defined not by the doubts of others, but by her personal pursuit of greatness. Her message resonated deeply, especially with young athletes who look to her as a symbol of perseverance, strength, and authenticity. Within minutes of delivering her statement, clips of her response spread across platforms like X, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Commentators praised her composure, noting that she managed to be firm without being hostile, assertive without being aggressive. Former players chimed in, expressing admiration for her ability to articulate what many athletes feel but rarely say so openly. Some current players subtly weighed in as well, offering cryptic posts, some supportive, some clearly hinting at the underlying tensions still brewing among top competitors. It was a storm of reactions, each adding fuel to a rivalry already known for intensity. As night falls across the tennis world, analysts are working overtime to unpack what this moment truly means. For some, it signals the dawn of a new era in which Coco Gauff embraces her role not only as a champion, but as a leader, a voice who will speak up when necessary. For others, it reflects the competitive climate at the top of the sport, where elite players use both performance and psychology to gain an edge. And for fans, it marks one of the most exciting points in recent memory, where rivalries transcend statistics and become stories with emotional depth, human conflict, and dramatic tension. Adding to the significance of this moment is the broader context of Gauff's season so far. Her training regime has intensified. Her team has strengthened. Her focus, both physical and mental, is sharper than ever. Insiders report that she has been working tirelessly behind the scenes, analyzing opponents, adjusting strategies, and honing her game. Her belief in her potential seems to grow with each passing week, and her confidence is reflected not only in her court performance, but in situations like today, where she maintained control even under emotional pressure. Meanwhile, her rivals are not staying quiet. They are determined, hungry, and ready to challenge her dominance at every opportunity. This includes players who have been on the tour for years, still striving for greatness, as well as rising stars eager to make their mark. Some competitors have increasingly embraced psychological tactics, sending bold messages through interviews and social media posts, hoping to unsettle Gauff or disrupt her rhythm ahead of major tournaments. But today's response sent a clear signal. Coco Gauff is not intimidated. She is not shaken. She is not backing down. As the tennis world digests her words, attention now shifts to the next phase of this growing rivalry. Fans are already anticipating future matches, imagining how today's emotional intensity will translate when these players face each other across the net. Will the rival who made the initial comments double down or step back? Will the tension lead to even more dramatic exchanges? Or will this moment push all involved to elevate their performance even further? These questions hover in the air tonight, filling the sports world with a sense of anticipation, uncertainty, and excitement. One thing is clear, rivalries are the heart of sports. They spark passion, drive athletes to surpass their limits, and capture the imagination of millions. Today's exchange between Coco Gauff and her competitor reminded fans why they love this game, not just for the aces, rallies, and match points, but for the stories that shape the emotional landscape of competition. The story unfolding right now is one for the history books, and this chapter is far from over. As conversations continue online and across newsrooms, insight from coaches, former champions, and tennis strategists has added layers of analysis to today's events. Many experts argue that Gauff's ability to respond so articulately reflects maturity beyond her years. They point out that her poise under pressure is one of her greatest strengths, and today showcased that strength masterfully. Others believe this moment could shift the psychological balance between her and her rivals, giving her newfound leverage when the stakes rise in future matches. Fans, too, are showing overwhelming support. Comment sections across platforms are filled with messages praising her confidence and grace. Many note that this moment felt different, more meaningful, more assertive, more reflective of the champion she is becoming. The phrase, "speechless response," has trended for hours, highlighting the impact her words had on viewers around the world. In an age where every moment is captured, shared, and dissected, Gauff's ability to command the narrative stands as a defining trait of her character. As coverage continues to unfold, new details are emerging from those close to the situation. Members of Gauff's team expressed pride in how she handled the moment, noting that she remained true to her values and refused to let negativity overshadow her accomplishments. They emphasized that she is focused solely on her goals and refuses to be distracted by external noise. Meanwhile, insiders within the rivals' camp have hinted that the original comments may have been misinterpreted or taken out of context, though many analysts view that explanation as an attempt to diffuse backlash. In the midst of all this drama, the overarching story remains centered on determination, ambition, and the quest for greatness. Coco Gauff's journey is one that inspires millions, not only for her talent, but for her authenticity. Today's response serves as a reminder of the strength that lies in standing firm, speaking truth, and rising above rivalry with dignity and determination. And this is only the beginning. As the tennis season progresses, all eyes will be on what happens next, on the court, in press conferences, and in the ever-evolving dynamics between the sport's top players. One thing is certain, Coco Gauff has made her stance clear, and the world is listening. This has been Bella with Trending Now USA, bringing you the full unfolding story as this rivalry heats up and the tennis world reacts to a moment that left everyone speechless. Stay tuned, as more developments are sure to follow.